Happy holidays to everyone listening to Real Talk with Chuck and Pam. Remember, you can get all of our reviews and our interviews and everything thanks to Matt Kubinski's wonderful skills at designing our website, realtalkwithchuckandpam.com. That's REEL talk with chuckandpam.com. Chuck, we're a little behind. We didn't do a podcast last week, but we're not even going to worry about that. You can look at our reviews on our website. We want to talk about what's coming out next week for the holiday weekend. It is Christmas weekend.
Mhm.
So what better way to start talking about the holidays than to talk about a soft porn movie? What do you think?
Yes. Yes. Let's talk about Babygirl.
Let's talk about Babygirl. I love Nicole Kidman. She does take chances. I love it when she puts her name alongside book adaptations, novel adaptations. She can make a great book even better in TV. I don't know where this came from. This is a story about a high-powered CEO. She plays that high-powered CEO, and her name is Romy. And Romy owns this company, and she, for some reason, is smitten with this young intern named Samuel, played by Harris Dickinson. I didn't recognize him at first, and then I realized I just recently saw him in Blitz. He had a very, very short little role in Blitz. He played
Had a blip and blitz?
a little in Blitz, yes.
Blip and blitz. Okay.
He had a blip in Blitz.
I got you. All right.
But he stuck out in my mind for some reason, and he's
Can't
in this,
imagine why.
and there is no blip in this one. He plays the young intern that she becomes smitten with, and he's wise beyond his years when it comes to women and what this particular woman wants. Well, they start to have an affair, and obviously this is going to affect her home life. She is married to someone who I adore, Antonio Banderas, and she's got two young children. Um, Basically, in my mind, what this is we watch them have an affair over and over again. We see that her sex life with her husband is very alive and well, but he just doesn't do it for her. I don't know why. And she has this high powered role, but I think she wants to be in a different type of situation when it comes to her sexual life. Um, I don't know. I got bored with this, and I got kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say offended. I wasn't offended by it. I just got bored by it. I really don't want to watch people having sex. It was uncomfortable. And, this would have been a movie that I would have said, "Oh, Mom, you want to sit down and watch a movie with me?" She's not around anymore, but if she would have watched it with me, I would have cringed. I would have turned it off. I felt it to be redundant.
Mhm.
I didn't feel that there was any depth to the story whatsoever. We understand that she's not happy in her marriage. We don't quite know why, other than the sex part. And that's about it. We don't really get to know her kids. We don't really understand her relationship with her children. There isn't a whole lot. And we never get to know this kid either. What's his deal? I don't know. So I say skip this one. This is extremely disappointing. And I I don't even know what to tell you other than that. Do you have any thoughts on that one, Chuck?
I don't know why she made this movie. There's a sense of desperation in this film. And
Okay.
I don't know what she was trying to prove. And that's what this came off as.
I'm going to
I
stop
mean,
you there for a sec because I think I agree with you. I thought the same thing when I was watching her. I thought, okay, she's my age and she looks amazing.
right.
Is that what she's trying to prove? Like, I would never put myself in that situation because I don't look like that when I'm naked or half naked.
Yeah,
So is that why?
we know that you're one of the great beauties of our time, one of the most glamorous film stars of the 21st century. We get it. And I don't know why she would have to prove that. Yeah, I don't get it. Um, I understand where this movie could have gone. I love this whole notion that she is in control of everything, but she needs downtime. That's what I thought the whole relationship was.
Right,
Finally, someone is telling her what to do. Finally, she doesn't have to make the decision. I get that. I get
right.
it. But you're right, it's redundant. We have way too many scenes with them together doing the same type of thing. The point is made. We understand why you're attracted to this situation.
Right.
maybe not so much the kid, but this situation. I get it, and she comes off as very selfish,
Yes.
very
Yeah.
selfish. Um, the best moment was the vicarious moment that I had when her husband was yelling at her. Like, man, you deserve this. You
Right.
deserve all of this.
Right.
But I guess, I guess people are, more aware of things than I realized, because as you pointed out when we were talking about this soon, somehow or another, this movie has a happy ending. Everything falls apart, but suddenly, somehow or another, everything ends up peachy keen jelly bean. I mean, it's almost like a fairy tale at times. But
It's funny you mentioned the ending. I don't even remember it.
yeah, they reconnect, remember? They reconnect in bed, and they're gonna, start talking, and maybe she'll actually tell him what she really wants, and then they'll be happy. You know,
Okay. I might have fallen asleep in all honesty, so I may have missed that end and just woke up for the
so,
credits.
so that tells you something, everyone. If Pam Powell fell asleep with a movie that has Antonio Banderas in it, that is the ultimate diss on this film. That is the ultimate thumbs down that she can give.
I would completely agree with you. Antonio, if you're listening to this, it's very true.
And Antonio, you were the best part of the film.
This is very true too. All right, let's skip that over that then. We are done with Babygirl. Skip that one, everybody. Chuck, would you mind? I would like for you to pick one of the next two movies, either Nosferatu or A Complete Unknown.
Right, and we also have The Fire Inside that we can talk about as well, which comes out on Christmas.
Right.
Uh, let's go with Nosferatu. Uh,
Okay.
Robert Eggers' long anticipated remake of the classic 1922 vampire film based on the Dracula novel. Iconic film, iconic movie. Still one of the great vampire films after 100 years. Um, and genuinely a creepy movie. I mean, still, it kind of gives me the creeps, primarily because of the director, F.W. Murnau, the atmosphere that he creates in that, and the vampire played by Max Schreck, Count Orlok, who is still gives me the creeps, as I say. Remade 1979 by Werner Herzog and Klaus Kinski. Now we get this version. And just as with Babygirl, where I was asking, why are we doing this? I asked myself throughout this, why are we doing this? Movie looks fantastic,
It's
as
beautiful.
all Eggers films do. I mean, it's a gothic masterpiece as far as the visuals are concerned. It really is one of those movies where I found myself actually freeze framing the film
Really?
so I could just kind of take it all in. Uh, Once we especially get to the castle where the vampire lives, I'm like, oh, this is really, and also the cinematography. That dark cinematography is not easy to do,
Yeah.
where it needs to be dark, yet you can still distinguish things. I don't know who his cinematographer was, but again, this movie visually is dynamite. But I don't know how it adds anything to uh, vampire legend. I don't know how it adds anything to the Dracula tale. Um, there are some connections that he is trying to make more of a connection between Mina and the vampire, as far as though they have some sort of psychic connection and that she, in fact, played by Lily Rose Depp, actually, she in fact has had premonitions of him long before she has married the Nicholas Hoult character. Um, it just seemed why,
Okay.
why,
I'm going to answer that why. Because a
right?
lot of people haven't seen the original or the remake, and a lot of people have not read the book. If you haven't, I think this was a beautiful love story of sacrifice. And I thought it was gorgeous. I do not usually like Robert Eggers movies. And this is the one that I actually liked. And cinematically, and the cinematographer, by the way, was Yaron Blaschke. He was the director of photography, and incredible. You're right. Filming dark looking scenes are really difficult because you have to have so many different shades of darkness to be able to create a light somewhere within. It was gorgeous. Production design was gorgeous, and I really I liked this retelling of the story. It's been a long time since I've seen Dracula. I can't even tell you when it was, probably 20 years ago. So for me to see this and to enjoy it, I think that's a if you don't know the story, and if you want, and tell me, was this a love story before? I can't ever remember that.
The novel has changed over the years.
Okay.
And I think you could do a study. I often wanted to teach a class in which we read the novel and then we look at every film iteration, because every film adds something or takes something away or gives it a new take.
Okay.
It being a love story starts basically in 1979 with the Langella version.
Okay.
Then suddenly we get that connection. In the novel, it's not a love story. This guy is just a parasite. He has no feelings for the woman at all. He just wants to drain her dry.
Okay.
Uh, so that well, I guess we go back to the 31 version too. That starts to develop there. But no, novel is not a love story. What did you think of the vampire? Let me ask you that.
The vampire was pretty darn creepy. I was disgusted and revolted by every aspect of him. I thought it was well done. What do you think? Because I don't know what you're looking for here.
I was disappointed in it. I mean, it made sense to me, his appearance, because if this vampire was actually some sort of warrior back in, the Czechoslovakian area in the 1400s, that's how he would look. Okay, I get it. Logically, it made sense. He didn't scare me at all.
Oh, really?
I wasn't frightened by him, and I need that. I need to be frightened by that monster, or else it doesn't ring true to me. And the cast is great. I mean, there's no question about the cast. Nicholas Hoult, Willem Dafoe, Bill Skarsgård plays the vampire, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin. I mean, it's stacked. There's no question. There's plenty of talent there. It just kind of, and maybe the hype was just too much for me. Maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know. I am going to watch it again because I do admire everyone involved, and maybe I was in the wrong place when I watched it, but I was kind of disappointed. I'm glad you liked it though.
Yeah, me too. I was shocked that I liked it. When I saw that Eggers was directing it, I thought, oh, I'm not going to like this. You know, I try not to go in with those expectations, but cinematically, I think he sees the world in a different light, in a
He
new
sure,
different
certainly
way.
does.
And
And it's
he is.
ironic. I liked all of his other films. I know you haven't, and then this one I don't like, and then yeah, it's kind of inverse. Yeah.
So if you tend to agree more with me, go see this one. If you tend to agree more with Chuck, then skip it, I guess. Would you skip it? Would you skip
Again, it's worth seeing just to look at it,
it? Okay.
I
Okay.
think, especially on a big screen.
I didn't realize either that Dracula was played by Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
That would have put a little different image in my head.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, Lily Rose Depp, you lucky little girl, you.
Well, I don't know. That last scene she didn't seem too lucky at all.
No, she was not. All right, so that takes care of Nosferatu, and I would like to go with a fire inside, or do you want to laugh at me
No,
as you do a complete unknown?
well, let's end with Complete Unknown. So yeah, go with Fire Inside. A very, I wouldn't say surprising, but an unexpected movie, I thought.
We have two movies actually that are similar this year with when it comes to a coach that actually I don't think the other one has come out yet.
That
Uh,
one comes out in January.
okay.
The one with Jennifer Lopez that you're referring to, which I think is Unstoppable is the name of it. I think that film's a little better.
Okay. Okay. I think they're similar in that
Very
um
much.
well let me tell you a little bit about the writer for this is Barry Jenkins, and both you and I love Barry Jenkins. We had an interview with him, probably one of our best interviews, just having a conversation,
Yep, he was great.
just conversation with a writer director, and it was wonderful. And that was If Beale Street Could Talk. But this is written by Barry Jenkins and directed by Rachel Morrison. And it stars Ryan Destiny as Clarissa Shields, and Clarissa is from I guess I'm going to use the word broken family. She's a very dysfunctional family. We meet her as a young child, basically running the streets. Okay, nobody can see what Chuck is doing right now, but I can, and he has done something with his hair that scares the shit out of me. I don't know. Are you doing like a Dumb and Dumber look or something?
Oh no, I just got a bad cowlick today and I'm trying to just do something. just, I don't know. I'm sorry that I distracted you there.
All good. Anyway,
Oh, speaking of the movie, all I gotta do is say that they're in Flint, Michigan to let you know everything that their whole situation.
yeah, it's pretty desperate. And Clarissa's a little girl. She's like, I don't know, maybe 8 years old, and she finds her way to this gym. She wants to learn how to box. And the coach there, Jason Crutchfield, played by Brian Tyree Henry, says, yeah, we don't teach girls. Sorry, not going to happen. And he goes home to his wife and his daughter, and he says that, and they are appalled that he is being biased against gender. So he ends up taking on this little girl and teaches her how to box. And we watch her as she grows through the years, and we watch as she fights difficult fights and she wins championships. And then all of a sudden, she's at the Olympics. This is all a story about resilience. When all you need in life, I think about Jamie Redford's movie Resilience, that has stuck with me for a decade. You need one stable person in your life in order to give you the hope and the chance of making it. But you don't have anyone in your life, your chances go down precipitously. Jason Crutchfield, the coach, was that one person for her. And she was able to be resilient against all odds. And that's what the story is, winning against all odds and the price that you pay in order to win and the decisions that you make. I thought this was an uplifting story. It wasn't unexpected, but I can watch these kinds of movies once a month just to give me a little hope and inspiration for humanity.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't think it's anything that's going to win any kind of Academy Award. But I think it was a worthwhile film to watch. And all you coaches out there, and I have a very dear friend, Kristen, who is a coach, and I know the positive impact and influence she has had on many kids' lives. And so if you're a coach out there, you have a great opportunity to be that resilient person, maybe for someone who's struggling.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And I'm not a big fan of Brian Tyree Henry, but I liked him here. I
I
thought he
know
did
you're
a
not.
good job.
Yeah.
He's winning me over a little bit. He's getting away from his usual shtick with it, which I liked. The kid was good too. I didn't know about her, Ryan Destiny. She's fierce.
Yes, isn't she though?
Fierce. And she was like, man, I wouldn't want to step in the ring with you, honey. I mean, she captures that whole thing. Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before, and we're going to talk about this again in a couple of weeks when we talk about Unstoppable.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, I don't think that these are messages we can hear enough, especially now. So when it's well done, I'm there. So yeah, Fire Inside, you can this and I would say that this is close to being kind of a family film as well. I mean, young teens and up, you could take them, and I think that would be fine. So there is that for Christmas. There's nothing else like that out at Christmas. So this would be the one.
Quick question. Did you notice how many times they included the Flint water tower in the shot?
Yes, yes, very much so, and good for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Watch it every time you can. So.
Heartbreaking, heartbreaking. So check that out in theaters. Bring the family if you have older children. Well worth seeing. Let's take a look then at A Complete Unknown. Thank you for bailing me out of that one. For those of you who don't know me, music is just not my thing. And I was
Yeah, and you are the only person I have ever met who has said that. You are the only person I have ever met who I've been in a car with, and every 5 seconds, the station has to change. Every 5 seconds. And I think maybe that's also why, you seem to want to fill the time with talk. Pam will talk to a post. Okay. She's lovely. She's the most friendly person. If that whole saying about, a stranger is a friend I've never met, Pam embodies that. She lives that every day. But I think some of that comes from wanting to fill the silence because she doesn't like music. What happened to you?
I do like music. I really do, but I am so darn particular about music, and I think
Yeah.
I actually have a neurological defect.
Do you have
And
like 5 songs you like or something? Is that it? So if those 5 songs are playing,
five artists. I really like Sheryl Crow. I love Louis Armstrong. I like Eric Clapton. So there, I named three. I hate the Beatles. Oh my God. If Chris, my husband, wants to piss me off, all he has to do is play the Beatles and I'm pissed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's the reaction. So tell us how you feel about Bob Dylan.
Oh Lord. Who?
Right, okay. James Mangold, who did Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash biopic a few years back, returns to that genre with A Complete Unknown, taking a look at Bob Dylan. It takes a look at a small window in his life. Dylan is 19 when we see him. He has come to New York to visit Woody Guthrie, who is in a hospital. He's in bad shape. Played wordlessly by Scoot McNairy. A good performance, actually.
Mhm.
Uh, He's been one of his influences. Dylan wants to pay respect, play him a song or two. And who does he happen to meet there? But and I'm drawing a blank, and I know
Pete
Pete
Seeger.
Seeger,
Yep.
played by Pam's favorite actor, Edward Norton.
He loves me.
Yeah, he hates me too. Dylan has nowhere to go. Seeger takes him in, says, "Come on home with me for a few days." Listens to some of his songs and realizes, hey, this kid's got something, and he nurtures this talent within him, giving him opportunities, opening up some doors for him at Columbia Records. And we see Dylan develop as an artist over a course of about 4 years. This culminates at the infamous Newport Folk Festival, I believe in 1965, in which Dylan shocked all of his fans by going electric. Oh my God, yes, I know. I guess I just don't understand why that was such a thing, but the reaction, and I looked up some archival footage of it, Pam, and the movie gets it right. I mean, there's no question. There was a hue and cry there over what he had done. I'm not a big Timothy Chalamet fan, but I gotta tell you, I think he nailed it. He really does a good job here. And I read that he would started learning how to play guitar 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that dedication and that obviously he studied Dylan films and pictures. He's got the posture right. He has everything right. And it's no matter what you think of the film, it is an impressive performance, as is Norton. You and I aren't fans of him, but this whole Pete Seeger thing, he's got that down too. I looked up some footage of him and the cadence, the vocal cadence, the singing. He just nails that as well. And I love the dichotomy between the two characters. You see Dylan breaking out and going his own way, but you see Seeger wanting to stick to the traditional ways of the music that he loves. And that tension is great. Joan Baez pops up too. Monica Barbaro is there, and Boyd Holbrook is Johnny Cash, who comes in later on to encourage Dylan to do his thing. Also Elle Fanning, great job from her as the early girlfriend, the one that appears on that iconic record album that Dylan made. I like this film. I know you didn't. I liked it. Because I thought it really gave a great snapshot of that time. And
Okay.
I found myself I'm not a fan of his, but I found myself appreciating his music a bit more. I found that I knew more of his songs than I realized.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And again, no matter your feelings, there's no arguing that his impact was significant at that time period. More than anything, this movie talks about how he just follows the beat of his own drum, and he just doesn't care what other people think. He's going to do what he wants to do, and if you want to come along for the ride, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. And I think that that's where the title comes from, A Complete Unknown. We're really not too sure about his motivations. We're not too sure why he does what he does, but that's Bob Dylan, and that's always been part of his mystique.
I agree with you. Timothy Chalamet did it. I think this role was meant for him, or he was
Oh yeah,
created to make this
no question.
performance. He fit the bill perfectly. And yes, kudos to him for taking on the responsibility to actually play the music and to sing the lyrics. That's incredible, incredible performance from him. And as you said, with Edward Norton playing Pete Seeger. And the funny thing is, Edward Norton was not very nice to neither Chuck nor I at an event. And we'll tell you the details if we ever see you in person. But Pete Seeger is an incredibly kind person. Lives in around the area that my husband and I used to live in New York. And he did so much for the environment and continues to do so in the Hudson River and clean drinking water. Man, talk about Flint, Michigan. They could have used his help.
A true activist.
Yeah, absolutely. And a
Walks the
grassroots.
walk and talks the talk. Yeah, no
Yeah.
question.
So good guy. Edward Norton somehow made me think that in the movie he was a good guy. So well done. Good acting with that. And he also learned to play the guitar and did his own singing. So people really, really took these roles seriously and tried to do the best that they possibly could. And incredible performances. I'm sure that we're going to see some nominations for that.
No question.
I felt that the film was flat. I didn't care about Dylan. I didn't care. Ooh, at the end, the big climax. Ooh, he got booed at a concert because he electrified his instruments. Oh, okay, that's the climax of the movie, really? I don't know.
Apparently it was a thing. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know.
Would you say that this is made for fans?
Oh, absolutely. I watched it with three other people. Two of us were not fans of Bob Dylan, and two of us were. And it got split down the middle. The two of us that were not fans, didn't care. One person fell asleep for at least half the movie. And then the other, no, it was not. I did not.
Okay, all right.
Not. And then Chris and Kristen both absolutely loved it. So I think that if you are a fan of this era of this music, know anything about Dylan and Seeger and anyone else within that era, I think you're really going to enjoy seeing how that changed and influenced what was to come in music in the next decade. I know music, I just don't appreciate this music.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're right. This is going to be a front runner at the Oscars. There's no question about it. And it's going to be interesting how it all shakes out. But I enjoyed it more than I thought it would, and that's saying a lot.
Very good. Cool. Well, I think that's all we have for this week. Is that right?
That's all we have for this year, believe it or not. We have gotten through the year. And next time, I have a feeling we're going to be talking about our best of
Yes.
the year. I have been keeping track, and we will talk about this next time. I've been keeping track. I have seen 186 new movies this year.
Wow. That's less though than we usually see.
186 new movies this year and 145 old movies that I've watched again.
Wow.
A lot of movies.
That's a lot of movies.
Conversely, the number of books I've read this year has fallen off the cliff. Not nearly as many. So next time we will be talking about our best of. I am anxious to see what mistakes Pam makes on her list. And also, if you need a little bit of hope, watch the Superman trailer, which came out today from James Gunn. I'm speechless.
Wow.
I'm so excited about this movie. I can't even tell you. I actually shed a tear or two watching this trailer. And Pam, I know you don't like these movies, but I need you to watch the trailer because I know there's something in it that you are going to love.
A dog.
Yeah, there's a dog.
Before we close out here, I want to go back and play Stump Chuck. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So we talked about Nicole Kidman and being one of the most iconic actresses, I think, of our era. She was nominated for 5 Academy Awards and she won 1. What did she win for?
The Hours. She played the poet. Was it Virginia Woolf?
It was. Oh, my computer is stalling.
I think it was Virginia Woolf. Yeah, it was for The Hours. The other question is, what was else was she nominated for? I guess Moulin Rouge.
Yes, she was nominated for Moulin Rouge. One I loved. It was a small role, but it was an impactful role as the adoptive mom of the little boy in Lion.
I hated that movie.
Did you? I loved it.
I liked it. It was boring.
I didn't see Rabbit Hole. Did you see Rabbit Hole? She was nominated for Best Performance.
Yes, that is a heartbreaking film. Yeah. She and her husband in that, and I think her husband was Aaron Eckhart.
Okay.
They lost a child, and they have to contend with that. And that is a great early role for Miles Teller.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
they lose the child in an accident, and Miles Teller plays the young teenage boy who accidentally hits the boy with his car. So he's contending with all that. It is real. That was the highlight for me. Miles Teller just stuck out at that moment. Like, holy shit, this kid is really gonna be great. It's a rough watch, but I mean, it's really, really good. Yeah, Miles Teller, Aaron Eckhart, Diane Wiest as well in that. Very much worth checking out. So,
Okay, I will definitely check that out. And then
I,
the other one is
don't
Being
tell me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Roberto. She played Lucille Ball.
Was she nominated for Cold Mountain?
Was she no, she nope, Moulin Rouge, Rabbit Hole, The Hours, Lion, and Being the Ricardos, and only one for The Hours.
Okay. I guess Zellweger and Jude Law were nominated for Cold Mountain, but not her.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting.
There you go. I didn't stump you, Chuck. I don't think I've stumped you yet. I'll keep trying.
Okay. You got promised me to watch that trailer.
I promise as soon as we
I'm
are.
gonna send it to you, actually.
All right, you send it to me, and then I'm going to post it on our Facebook page. So
Already done. Already done. It's already been posted. Already done. You're late to this party.
happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or any other holiday that you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate, enjoy some time off if you can with family and friends.